It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you.
Hey gang, when last we spoke, I had gotten through 8 strakes of planking. I had made the ditty bag from Emiliano Marino's sailmaker's apprenticeship, and I was looking forward to finishing the planking and preparing for what is kind of the annual juncture where I leave the boat behind. Every summer we leave for a month, head to the coast, get some sailing in, and basically make up for the 11 months a year that we live inland. So one of the key tasks was building the 9th strake on port side and starboard side. All right, Henry, what are we doing today?
We did a lot of things today. We worked on making a new plank. What's that called again? The glue.
Epoxy.
We epoxied it, and we did a lot of sanding, but there's a special word for it.
Yep, fairing.
Fairing. We did a lot of fairing on the boat. Those are like kind of the 2 main things we focused on, I would say. And making the... What is this called again?
That's the planking and the transom.
The transom and the planking look nice together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, best thing, worst thing?
The worst thing would be it's pretty hot outside.
Uh-huh.
I would like it if it was like 10 degrees cooler. It'd be pretty nice. And I would say I liked doing the epoxy.
Yeah. All right.
Like using the power...
Oh yeah, the power planer. That's right. You did the power plane on the scarf joint.
That was definitely my favorite thing.
Yeah. I went to Annapolis and bought some more wood from Exotic Lumber, and then I had to measure it, spile it, scarf it, and then fasten it. With that done, that was basically it for planking, with the exception of the shear strakes. I'm treating those a little bit differently rather than just rolling right into the oak shear strakes. Well, great news, gang. I just fastened the last screw on the last cedar plank. I'm calling that the whiskey plank. It's not a shutter plank because I still have to do the shear strakes on both port side and starboard side. So the last plank won't kind of close the boat up. Planking on the cedar has come to a close. I'm real pleased with this. I love how it looks. Now I can proceed with preparations for fairing and then caulking. With all the planking done, it was basically time for fairing. And if you know me and you know boat building, it's a lot of work fairing, and it's one of the least fun and enjoyable parts. I haven't had to use torture boards. I've been able to do it with planes, and then I've got a power palm sander. And so with those 2 things, I've basically been able to work through most of it. become an opportune time, I think a right time to work a little bit more on the stem. When I cut it away, when I first made it, I left a lot of material kind of on the recommendation of a Maynard Bray's guide, and left a couple of the lines here for further widening. And I left some wood because I didn't know how deep or how thick the planking would be, and so I could refine it when I got the planking on. Now this wood on the stem is kind of in the way of fairing the planking, and so it's time to cut a little bit more away from the stem. I'm a little bit trepidatious. I'm using the angle grinder or the power grinder, and that always makes me a little bit nervous, so I'm gonna try and go real delicate, real deliberate, real slow. With fairing just about done, I didn't really want to leave this uncoated, and in fact, I have been looking forward to caulking for quite some time. I don't know, it just seems super appealing. It's one of those things that you don't encounter in any other realm, so it was sort of like steam bending early on. Caulking was something I was very much looking forward to, so I decided to caulk at least on one side down to the water line. We had a real rainy May and June, and so there were several days when I couldn't get anything done, and so I decided to start the centerboard. When I went up to Annapolis, I got some marine grade plywood. I glued those together, had to cut out the void for the lead, and shape the centerboard. All right, I've got the blank cut for the centerboard. Basically, this is as far as I'm gonna get before we take a summer break. And I've got the lead accumulated and basically ready to pour. So we'll do that when I get back. I'll have to do a little bit more fine tuning. I'm gonna coat this with epoxy, pour the lead here, and then of course paint it with some anti-fouling paint, as well as of course like the detailing of kind of tapering, feathering this back edge, the aft edge of the centerboard, and probably rounding all these corners. But the blank is cut and it's basically ready for final preparation, which we'll take up in August. The plan is at the end of the summer or beginning of the fall, I'll have that ready and pour the lead. that'll be sort of a trial run to get me familiar with kind of the process of melting and pouring lead in a manageable project. Then next spring, I'll probably pour the keel. At the moment, I'm working towards building up a stock of lead. This is kind of like challenging to find, and I really want to get it for like less than $1 a pound. That's a particular challenge. On the East Coast, basically, you've got to really scour Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and any other sources you might have for 50 or 100 pounds at a time. I was super, super lucky to score 300 pounds of lead from a guy who had just kind of wanted to unload it. I'm a little under 2/3 of my way towards the ultimate amount of lead that I need before I can pour the keel. And I'm using this first kind of 25 pounds for the centerboard weight. I didn't get quite as far along as I wanted to in June, but you can't control the weather and there's a lot of competing projects and priorities. So I was fairly pleased with the progress that I had made. There was nothing left to do except wrap up the boat, make sure it was safe and sound, and to start planning for what I would do upon my return.
Avec votre ceinture de sécurité couronnement attaché jusqu'au siècle le signal. Attachez la ceinture CDI. Faites attention à la compartiment supérieur. Pendant la bonne merci de lancer votre appareil électronique devant l'avion.
I was super, super pleased to see this land on my doorstep in early July. So when a rainy streak comes or cold weather comes, I'll be able to dive right into working on the head sail and mainsail with my new Sailrite rig. Even before that, my top priority is to finish caulking and paint the hull and then prepare it for turning over early in the fall. Another boat builder, John, has offered to kind of help with that, and it's going to take people from the neighborhood, some friends, and you all who've been following along to come along and help lift it. Many hands make light work, and then we'll have a big party. Even before we get to that, I'm really pleased to have spent some time in Rome with my family and now here on the coast of Brittany. The Tour de France went by in a neighboring town in Brittany yesterday, Go Pogacar. We've been able to swim several times. We'll get to sail, and I'm taking a side trip to Brest because I've never been there, but the weather has been real cooperative and it's just a delightful break. Even though it means we've got to take a pause on the boat. It's really kind of restorative, great family time, and I'm really fortunate to be able to spend time on the coast.